कैसे हैं?
बहुत बढ़िया सर। गुड मॉर्निंग अमित जी।
अमित जी और योगेश को मेरा भी नमस्कार प्रणाम।
नमस्कार बोलिए।
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Uh, very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to all my uh, colleagues, friends, and industry stalwarts, those who have joined today on the screen, and also the people, those who have joined on the YouTube channel. I'm very happy to share it with you that not only the members of PhD CCI Telecom Committee has joined, but at the same time, number of non-members also have also joined from our YouTube and Facebook link of PhD CCI. Friends, as you all are aware that 5G is the new promise of telecom industry. Whatever little I have learned in this industry from Mr. Sandeep Agarwal, Professor N.K. Goel, and my inspired co-chair, Mr. Mukherjee. And 5G has the potential to transform the world. And 5G will have an impact on how organizations think, work, and serve their customers. I'm sure it will allow new innovations to flourish. And the objective is to position India as a globally synchronized participant in the design, development, and manufacturing of 5G based technologies, products, and applications. That is the objective. I should say a macro objective, and our telecom committee objective under the leadership of Mr. Sandeep Agarwal and Mr. Alok Mukherjee. We want to raise such kind of meaningful topics on the PhD CCI platform, so that the industry, yes, to be benefited, but at the same time all the best brain come forward and then discuss, deliberate in length, so that post this virtual meeting we will be able to make the recommendations with the approval of Mr. Sandeep Agarwal and Mr. Mukherjee, and then we will be able to share it with all the concerned stakeholders. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I request Mr. Agarwal to speak, let me share it with you the program of today. As Mr. Sandeep Agarwal is the mentor of Telecom Committee PhD Chamber, so he will be giving the welcome remarks and also set the theme for today's discussions. Post that, I will request a small change, sir. I will request Mr. Anil Khaitan. He is the former president of our PhD CCI. So I will also request him to share about his experience, especially Chinese experience which he has. So he will also be joining us soon. And then I will request Mr. N.K. Goel. He is the chairman of TEMA and president CMAI to share briefly. And of course, we are very happy that we have Mr. Amit Marwa today. He is the head of marketing and corporate affairs Nokia, and we are very grateful to him that he found time from his busy schedule. So we will be requesting him to give his special address. Mr. Sarvesh Singh, the chairman and managing director, BBNL, his office has told my colleague Kritika that he will be joining a bit late, so we will wait for him. And post that, our chief guest, the keynote speaker of today, Mr. S.K. Gupta, Secretary TRI AI, will speak. And last but not the least, my inspired co-chairman, Mr. Alok Mukherjee, of co-chairman of Telecom Committee. So he will be giving the concluding remarks and the formal vote of thanks. So this is the complete agenda of today's webinar, and we will try, as we have promised Mr. Amit Marwa as well as the secretary, that we will try and then finish this entire proceeding in maximum 55 to 60 minutes, because everybody has a scheduled meeting post 12 p.m. I have been told. Mr. Marwa also has a meeting, and secretary also has a meeting post 12 p.m. So we will try and then finish it maximum by 55 to 60 minutes. So with this brief information, now it is my proud privilege to invite Mr. Sandeep Agarwal, mentor, Telecom Committee, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to kindly give his brief welcome remarks and the theme for today's webinar on 5G technology. Mr. Agarwal.
श्री एस के अग्रवाल जी, सेक्रेटरी ट्राई, अमित मारवा जी, आलोक मुखर्जी जी, योगेश जी, सौरभ जी, गोयल साहब, हमारे खेतान साहब, पास्ट प्रेसिडेंट, हम सब आज की डेट में देख रहे हैं कि दुनिया में बहुत उथल पुथल है। 4G, 5G, 2G, 3G, रोज ये नाम उछल उछल के आ रहे हैं और लोगों को समझने में कुछ शायद तकलीफ हो कि इन सब चीजों का क्या मकसद है। जी से हम सब जानते हैं कि जब 1G आया था तो सिर्फ आवाज थी। 2G में आवाज के साथ थोड़ा सा SMS आ गया था। 3G आया तो थोड़ा डेटा भी आ गया। 4G आने से डेटा की स्पीड बढ़ गई, मगर जो 5G है वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट है। उसके अंदर आदमी डेटा से काम नहीं करा रहा, शायद डेटा आपस में काम करेगा। तो इन सब में थोड़े थोड़े फर्क है। 5G की ऑपरेशनल प्रॉब्लम्स भी है, इश्यूज भी हैं। जब 1G था तो एक सिग्नल 10-20 किलोमीटर तक चला जाता था और आप फोन पे बात कर पाते थे। 2G आया, थोड़े सिग्नल वीक हुए, मगर खासतौर पे 3G आने में मोबाइल कॉल ड्रॉप होने शुरू हुए। 4G में भी वही तकलीफ है। तो ये सब तकलीफें क्यों हैं, इनको हमें कैसे ठीक करना है। हाउ कोविड हैज चेंज्ड ऑल द सिनेरियो हियर, इसको हमको सबको समझना है। पोस्ट कोविड हमको सबको एक बात तो समझ में आ रही है कि डिजिटल इज द वे फॉरवर्ड। सब कुछ डिजिटल ही होगा। बच्चे पढ़ेंगे तो भी डिजिटल ही पढ़ेंगे। साल भर से अब बच्चे कंप्यूटर पे पढ़ रहे हैं। शायद उनको 2D 3D इंटरेक्टिव जब डेटा दिखता है नेट के ऊपर, तो शायद वो जो समझ है वो पहले जो फिजिकल क्लासेस में होती थी उनसे कुछ कम नहीं है, बेटर ही हो गई। सो पोस्ट कोविड हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि बच्चों ने कुछ लूज किया है। शायद वी हैव लर्नड अ लॉट, वी आर इम्प्रूविंग आवर कैपेबिलिटी टू एसिमुलेट द इंफॉर्मेशन इन द वर्ल्ड मच बेटर। उसके लिए जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रिक्वायर्ड है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। आज की डेट में करीबन 30% टावर फाइबराइज्ड है इंडिया में, और फाइबर टू होम मुश्किल से 5-7% है। अगर देखा जाए तो ये तो मैं उनकी बात कर रहा हूं जो टावर हैं। अगर मुझे पूरा तरीके से 4G और 5G नेटवर्क को इम्प्लीमेंट करना है तो मुझे आज से करीबन 100 गुने ज्यादा टावर्स लगाने पड़ेंगे। तो इसका मतलब अभी 97% टावर्स को फाइबराइजेशन करना बाकी है। और अगर हम ये करेंगे तभी जो हम क्वालिटी ऑफ सर्विस देना चाहते हैं लोगों को, बिना कॉल ड्रॉप के, बिना डेटा ड्रॉप के, विद वेरी लो लेटेंसी, ये सब चीजें हम आराम से लेके आ पाएंगे। मगर इसके अंदर बिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स खर्च होने हैं। करीबन करीबन हमारे हिसाब से हिंदुस्तान में 135 करोड़ लोग के अगेंस्ट 270 करोड़ फाइबर किलोमीटर फाइबर इंस्टॉल करना पड़ेगा फुल इंडिया को 4G 5G करने के लिए। नमस्कार गुप्ता जी।
Namaskar. Sorry to join slightly late because of
नहीं सर,
other.
धन्यवाद, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर अटेंडिंग ज्वाइनिंग अस। तो गुप्ता जी सबसे ज्यादा जानते हैं, हम सूरज को दिया दिखाएंगे।
नहीं ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है।
मगर गुप्ता जी के सामने हम डिस्कस जब करते हैं तो हमारे में जो त्रुटियां हैं, हमारी सोच में कुछ त्रुटियां हैं, वो भी ठीक हो जाती हैं, और कुछ जो इंडस्ट्री के पॉइंट्स हैं जो कभी कभी नजरअंदाज कर दिए जाते हैं, वो भी नजर में आ जाते हैं। तो हमारा सर ये कहना है कि हिंदुस्तान को करीबन 270 करोड़ फाइबर किलोमीटर इंस्टॉल करना है 4G 5G को फुल्ली इंस्टॉल करने के लिए। यस, उससे हम आधा भी कर लेंगे तो भी 90% शायद हम कनेक्टिविटी दे पाए, नो प्रॉब्लम। क्योंकि जो आपकी हाई डेंसिटी एरियाज हैं, सिटीज हैं, वहां पे कम फाइबर डेंसिफिकेशन में भी काम चल जाएगा। मगर जहां जहां पे हम ओपन एरियाज में जाते जाएंगे, वहां पे फाइबर की रिक्वायरमेंट तो बढ़ेगी। नाउ फाइबर 2-3 तरीके से लगता है। एक तो अंडरग्राउंड लग जाता है, एक ओवरहेड भी लगता है। कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि फाइबर की जरूरत ही नहीं है, हम रेडियो से काम चलाएंगे। कुछ कहते हैं कि रेडियो की भी जरूरत नहीं है, हम सैटेलाइट से काम चलाएंगे। कुछ बैलून से ही चलाना चाहते हैं। सारी पॉसिबिलिटीज सच है, मगर सबकी अपनी अपनी लिमिटेशन है। क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपको किस एरिया में क्या वॉल्यूम चाहिए, क्या पेनिट्रेशन चाहिए, क्या लेटेंसी चाहिए। ये सब चीजों को देखते हुए हमारे को काम करना है। दूसरा हमारा ये कहना है कि साहब, जो हमारे पास आज टावर्स हैं, उन टावर्स को अगर हम करेक्ट करते हैं तो उसके अंदर जो इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगी वो टेलकोज ही करेंगे, चाहे वो जियो हो, चाहे वो भारती हो, चाहे वो BSNL हो। अल्टीमेटली नहीं तो इसके अलावा जो इन्वेस्टमेंट आ सकती है सारे प्रोडक्ट के अंदर, वो आ सकती है हमारे ये जो फॉरेन प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट से भी आ सकती है। तो गूगल जैसी कंपनियां, फेसबुक जैसी कंपनियां जो चाहती हैं कि अपना डेटा वो आपके मोबाइल तक हाई स्पीड पे पहुंचा पाए, तो वो चाहते हैं कि उनके जो ऑप्टिकल फाइबर कनेक्शंस हैं वो हर नियरेस्ट पॉइंट तक ऑपरेटर के कनेक्ट हो जाए, जिससे कि सिर्फ कनेक्शन आपको देखने में अच्छा ना मिले कि डिवाइस से टावर तक अच्छा ना हो, एक्चुअली डिवाइस से फेसबुक के सर्वर तक अच्छा हो, डिवाइस से नेटफ्लिक्स के सर्वर तक अच्छा हो। ये सब करने के लिए वी हैव सीन कि जब जियो आया तो इंडिया became the largest consumption of digital data in the world on the mobile platforms. हमको उसी लीग में ही रहना है। हमारे को डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी, मोबाइल प्लेटफॉर्म पे भी और FTTH पे भी अपना डेटा को बढ़ाना ही है, क्योंकि पूरी की पूरी जो हमारी एजुकेशन है, मेडिकल है, वो धीरे धीरे कन्वर्ट इसी पे हो रही है। और कितना फर्क पड़ता है कॉस्ट इम्पैक्ट के अंदर। आज आप इंटरनेट के थ्रू सारे टेस्ट कर सकते हैं, सारी टेस्ट रिपोर्ट्स देख सकते हैं, डॉक्टर्स से कंसल्ट कर सकते हैं, टीचर्स से कंसल्ट कर सकते हैं, टीचर्स से पढ़ सकते हैं। तो ये सब चीजें तभी पॉसिबल है जब ये हम सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को मेंटेन कर पाते हैं। इंडिया की जो इकोनॉमी है वो बहुत बड़ी है, मगर कोई भी इकोनॉमी बिना रस्तों के नहीं बढ़ती। समय था जब नदियों के किनारे we had increased our GDPs, Nile River Valley, गंगा रिवर वैली, ब्रह्मपुत्र, इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, हम ये सब सिविलाइजेशंस को आगे कैसे बढ़ा के लेके गए? क्योंकि हमारे पास एक मीन्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन था, वाटर, पानी, उसके थ्रू हम मूवमेंट आसान कर सकते थे। ऐसे ही उसके बाद रोड्स बनी, धीरे धीरे मेथड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्ट्स अलग अलग आए। आज की डेट में जो सबसे इफेक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट है, जो सबसे बड़ा जीडीपी मल्टीप्लायर है, वो है डेटा। और डेटा में भी 5G। 5G में मैं एक बात बोलता हूं कि एक बहुत अच्छी बात हो रही है इंडिया में, छोटे से बड़ा, एक MSME कंपनी से लेकर, एक मीडियम स्केल कंपनी से लेकर, एक गवर्नमेंट की PSU से लेकर, चाहे वो जियो हो, चाहे वो भारती हो, सारी कंपनीज मिलके 5G टेक्नोलॉजी के अंदर अपना दिमाग लगा रही है। TCS है, वो भी इसके अंदर अपना टाइम एंड एनर्जी लगा रही है। पैरामाउंट हो, स्टरलाइट हो, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक की तो हमारी विहान है, या हमारी जितनी भी और कंपनीज हैं, रेडियो की कंपनीज हैं, नोकिया है हमारी जितनी भी कंपनीज जो मेक इन इंडिया करती हैं, वो अपने को ज्यादा से ज्यादा बड़ा और बेहतर बनाने की कोशिश कर रही हैं। यहां तक कि जो हमारी डेटा के अंदर के अलावा जो सॉफ्टवेयर है, उसके अंदर तो वी हैव ऑलवेज बीन वेरी सक्सेसफुल, बट वी हैव ऑलवेज kept a step behind. We were always behind the wheel of a foreign company. But today we see that a lot of Indian companies are coming out with their own products and designing their products. C-Dot, from core to radio to all the softwares and services, they are working very hard on developing the 5G technologies. हमें लगता है कि जो ये सब कुछ हो रहा है, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी कि जो हम 5G टेक्नोलॉजी आज सोचते हैं या सोचते थे, वही टेक्नोलॉजी 5G टेक्नोलॉजी कहलाएगी। 5G, 6G या 7G, जो ये कंटिन्यूअस मार्च प्रोग्रेशन है टुवर्ड्स हाई क्वालिटी सर्विसेज, ये हमारा चलता रहेगा और ये सब हम मिलके इसके ऊपर काम करेंगे। तो ट्राई से मेरे को सिर्फ एक जरूर पॉइंट रेज करना है कि ये भी पॉसिबल है, काफी हद तक पॉसिबल है, कि जो हम टेक्नोलॉजी और जो हम सिस्टम्स रेगुलर बेसिस पे डेवलप करेंगे, वो जरूरी नहीं है कि वो सारे ऑपरेटर ड्रिवन ही हों। और उसकी वजह से अगर हमने ये सारी जो बैंड है वो हमने ऑपरेटर के थ्रू ही यूज करने की सोची, तो कहीं पे शायद हमारे 5G की डेवलपमेंट में और 6G की डेवलपमेंट में रिस्ट्रिक्शन आने की पॉसिबिलिटीज हो सकती है। तो आई वुड request the learned people here to discuss and understand that where we need to mark a line, where if new technologies or new concepts emerge, where other than operators require bandwidths, they may not be constrained. The development may not be constrained because of that. हम द इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर जो है वो हमने देखा कि एक्चुअली इंडस्ट्री हैज नॉट बीन डूइंग वेरी वेल इन इंडिया. Very few countries have in fact expanded and nurtured their industrial sector like China. But इंडिया ने ऑटो सेक्टर और कुछ हद तक फार्मा सेक्टर में काफी कुछ काम किया. वही काम अब गवर्नमेंट PLI स्कीम और भी डिफरेंट स्कीम्स लाके 5G के अंदर कर रही है. तो ये सब जो बेनिफिट्स गवर्नमेंट लेके आने की कोशिश कर रही है, हम चाहते हैं कि इन सब का फायदा इंडस्ट्री को मिले. मुझे पता है कि देयर आर टू मेनी पॉइंट्स व्हिच नीड टू बी डिस्कस्ड. आई एम नॉट द बेस्ट पर्सन टू कमेंट. I would like to listen to Gupta ji and others. So let me take my leave and give others a chance to discuss the matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Agarwal Sahab. Thank you very much for setting the theme. But as I have told everybody that both our esteemed speakers, Mr. S.K. Gupta and Mr. Amit Marwa, they have a meeting sharp at 12, so they will be leaving before 12. So I have a slight change in the program. So first I will request Mr. Anil Khaitan to speak briefly. Then I will come to Mr. Amit Marwa and Mr. S.K. Gupta, and at the end, before the industry interface, I will request Professor N.K. Goel to speak. So first I will request Mr. Anil Khaitan, our former president, to speak briefly so that I can invite the industry speakers. Over to you, Mr. Khaitan. We are very happy to welcome you, sir, on the PhD CCI, this 5G technology post-COVID.
Thank you, Yogesh. Good morning to you, Sandeep, and a good morning to my fellow panelists and to everybody on this webinar. A very hearty welcome on behalf of PhD. I'll speak basically from the consumer viewpoint because I'm into industry. So I would be a consumer of 5G. Now, COVID-19 has reshaped consumer behaviors and habits. People now rely on digital solutions to go on with their lives. Working and entertainment primarily happen virtually. All the weddings, as we know, yesterday was a huge wedding day. All of them happened virtually wherever possible. Companies have had to adapt, and provide a more digital experience to our customers, to our employees. Looking ahead, uncertainties will continue with changing restrictions and concerns around a second or a third wave of infection. We don't know whether it's a V-shaped recovery or a U-shaped recovery or a W-shaped recovery. In this environment, how we as businesses ensure that we remain resilient and agile enough to respond to the challenges ahead. 5G, according to me, will be a key driver for the Indian industry for the future of our industrial success in terms of competing with the fiercest competitor, and that is China. 5G enabled industries have the potential to help drive sustainable economic growth and define our India's next decade of innovation. And COVID-19 pandemic, whatever you say, has definitely accelerated the demand for connectivity with consumers and professionals relying on high quality and high speed internet performance more than ever. Say, for example, we in our company during the pandemic, now we only communicate online with our customers sitting in Chile or sitting in Argentina or sitting in New Zealand, which we were never doing before. We used to send people on marketing trips, but now we have realized they are wasteful expenditures. So for that, we in the industry would need 5G, which is extremely good for connectivity because the speed, as Sandeep has mentioned, I don't know how many 100 times it is more than 4G. And remote control machines, I mean, that is music to our ears. If we can do remote control machines that communicate over 5G. And I think people have already come out with that. I'm not so knowledgeable on that issue because they will allow human operators to steer drones. We can steer, cranes on construction sites, cranes within the factory itself, other industrial equipments with greater precision and speed and efficiency without having to be on site. This is just one of the many ways that 5G could be critical in enabling businesses to maintain operations and remain resilient in the face of any future disruption. With these words, since we have knowledgeable speakers, I would like to conclude. And thank you so much, Vivek, and thank you so much, Sandeep.
Sir, Vivek is not there, sir. This is Dr. Yogesh, sir.
Sorry.
Vivek is busy, sir, in a health program. No problem, sir. But it's always pleasure, Mr. Khaitan, to have you on board, and it's always very nice to hear you. Thank you very much, sir, once again. Now, I'll not take much of time. I'll immediately invite Mr. Amit Marwa, Head of Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Nokia, to kindly share his special address. Over to you, Mr. Marwa.
Is it okay if I can share a short presentation?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, very much visible, sir.
Okay.
But just keep that in mind that secretary has to leave for a meeting.
Yeah. So this will be not more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will give an overall perspective.
Thank you.
And thank you, Agarwalji and Khaitanji, to set the base on what 5G brings and what I will talk about is a little bit of what we think 5G is bringing and what COVID has influenced in terms of accelerating of use cases that are related to 5G, which will now become even a faster reality. So just a very, very quick snapshot of what you see here is this is a Bell Labs report, which shows that where a detailed study was done, which shows that between 19 and 25, in 6 years, there is expected to be anything between 28 times to 82 times growth in data consumption. And here you see the population is only increasing by 1.1 times. In spite of that, you will probably see in the pessimistic side 28x, optimistic side 82 times expansion in growth. So this is a reality that we cannot. And in order to deal with this growth, you need technologies like 5G. I'm saying even if you forget the use cases of 5G, just because it brings additional spectrum, which is hundreds of megahertz on ground, the world will not be able to survive this growth without having 5G as a technology in the future. And where does this come from? This comes from all across the generations. So like from the youngest to the oldest people are now going to be using. These are the people who will consume 5G. What will consume is also now becoming very clear, but I think we have already seen different types of devices consuming data. and that is becoming more and more relevant. Now you have HD TVs and big screen TVs which consume huge streaming bandwidth. I don't have a TV connection in my house anymore. All my TVs are connected through Wi-Fi on internet and only streaming live channels. So this is going to become much more a reality. But I think what is important right now is that this 1 year of the pandemic has given a new meaning to where data grows. So globally, we saw anything between 30 to 50% data growth happening just because of COVID hitting the world and people having to change their lifestyle and do things which were more online. And it was 30. Even in India, if you see, we have seen anything between 15 to 25% depending on different use cases and different operators as the average consumption increase spike because of the COVID pandemic. So what COVID has done is actually helped us realize and accelerated this whole journey to for data consumption to grow to a different level. And what it has also done is that use cases that used to be a dream for us or which were only on the big book, of course they were there practically available, but the adaptation of those use cases was a little slow. That has completely changed because of people, and I'll come to some of the use cases in the next few slides. One of them, I think Agarwalji also covered, is fixed broadband. Now, fixed broadband, we know that in India, we have only 25, 30 million homes, even less than that. And if you take fiber to the home, it's like 2-3 million homes which are only connected on fiber to the home. So, and fixed or working from home has created a new normal, and we were lacking in that. Now, yes, fiber cannot be rolled out. It is the requirement. We have to go with hundreds and thousands of kilometers of more fiber to be rolled out, but this is going to take time. It can take 5 years, it can take 10 years, we don't know. So this, what 5G can enable is bridging this divide. 5G operates in mid-band and in the very high bands, which is called millimeter waves. And if you see use cases, which are the first use cases of 5G adopting across the world, these are connecting FWA or fixed broadband, which is being adopted in the US in the millimeter band. So huge amount of spectrum, hundreds of megahertz of spectrum is allocated to operators. They can either give direct 5G as an endpoint and connect homes, or they can even use 5G as a backhaul in order to do a wireless backhaul. So this is something which is a low-hanging fruit, especially for India, for connecting, going homes as well as rural connectivity. But besides that, I think there are these 4 other use cases which have also kind of accelerated or which have seen a new light. One of them is manufacturing, and I will not talk about it right now because I will show you a practical example of manufacturing, how we have adopted it in Nokia. Healthcare we have seen, but healthcare right now we are only talking about diagnostic, which is happening. All of us do online appointments. I was seeing some survey, in fact, today in Times of India, which said 80% people have been doing online consultation in this time of COVID. But this can be taken to a different level. Number one, the consultation can become much more, I would say, intriguing, with devices being inbuilt, IoT sensors being inbuilt, virtual reality being inbuilt into this whole consultation phase, so that you can do much better consultation. At the same time, you can take it to the next level with 5G, with things like robotic surgeries, etc. That will come in the future. Retail is another one, where right now 80-90% of shopping is happening on online platforms. But imagine having a retail experience using VR, AR kind of technologies, where you are actually able to almost have near-time physical touch and feel, not maybe touch at this stage, but yes, at least feel and shape and form, be able to try devices and actually be able to see how it fits, and you are able to do that. And then, of course, autonomous vehicle, yes, we can say that very, very far-fetched reality for India, but I would look at this as connected vehicles. Connected vehicles means that you could have sensors, which you already have in vehicles today, which are not running the car automatically, but which are just providing logistics, which are providing these how the car is operating. At the same time, simple sensors which have automatic braking system. so that if a driver falls asleep, the car automatically brakes. So, you could have connected devices in the vehicles which could enhance the whole, you would actually save lives out of it. So the two big thing about 5G is going to be robotics. And one of the things which will be enhanced through robotics and automation. I will not spend too much time on this, but I will come to one practical use case, which is called Industry 4.0. We have all been talking about it. According to me, this is another low-hanging fruit. Reason being that the manufacturing industry in India today is very advanced. If you see, car manufacturing, if you see other manufacturing, if you see mobile factories manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, or even other things, they have state-of-the-art equipment. This state-of-the-art equipment already has connectivity to move towards next generation of connectivity in order to create an efficiency in it. The only thing is that we don't have that system in place right now of enabling that, and by way of things like private LTE, which I think is going to be a very, very important use case before 5G happens in order to make Industry 4.0. So what is the demand of the industry is on the left. You need robotics, you need automation, you need high capacity, you need performance, you need low latency. And if you see on the right side, 5G gives the answer to all these as a practical solution in order to make that happen. And this is where, I think is the meat of the whole thing. This is our Chennai factory. In the last 2 years, we have the largest manufacturing telecom factory manufacturing 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G in India. This factory is existing for 10 years in India. 50% of what we are manufacturing in this factory is getting exported. The rest 50% is meeting 100% or almost 95% of the demand of India in terms of radio networks that is required. Now, what we did 1.5 years back was we converted this factory into a smart factory. And using Airtel's private LTE network, we created a small private LTE network within the factory. And you see that in this factory today, 42,000 square meters of area is now covered remotely or covered through a private LTE network, where every part of the machine of the factory is connected on a wireless sensor on an LTE network. So we have removed 150 kilometers of LAN WAN cable from our factory, thrown it away, and every machine is today connected on a SIM card, which is radiating an LTE network and talking to each other. And on the right side, you see, I cannot share the numbers on the actual monetary benefit that we have said, but this will give you an indication. There are 20 areas in the factory, the shop floor, the logistics, the warehouse, every part of the factory, which has been now converted into a private LTE wireless network. There are 400 plus devices connected. This has resulted in an 86% lead time reduction for us and created an efficiency. The things that we were earlier doing manually by using manpower or even manual cranes, etc., are all done using robotics. 23 kilometers walk per day has been eliminated by using these sensors. 31% labor time has been reduced, and this is not that we are firing people from there. We have started training the same people to be able to do automation, AI testing, and repurposing them, which they were physical workers and they are doing something which is very, very unique. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is a huge saving that we ourselves have seen. If any of you are interested from the industry, we would be welcome to come and visit this factory and actually see how Industry 4.0 practically works and what is really on ground it can be. So this is my almost last slide, where we are saying that what is 5G and where it brings. So 5G is about, there are three main things about 5G. Mobile ultra MBB, we say, mobile broadband or ultra mobile broadband, massive machine to machine, and low latency. And here what we have tried to say is that in this span of things what 5G brings, where are the applications? So video consumption is coming from the requirement or the what 5G is able to deliver of what we are saying 10 Gbps per second kind of speeds, or 10 terabyte per square kilometers kind of data volumes. So which will enable video consumption. If you look at efficiency where you need AI, ML, then service deployment is very fast. It's an open architecture. We're talking about Open RAN. 5G accelerates that whole thing. So the whole deployment time acceleration will help in getting new services on ground very fast. IoT is the next big thing. It is already happening, but massive machine to machine of 1 million devices per square kilometer is what we are estimating that 5G will happen in the next few years in the world. How does that get catered? 5G is the answer. And low latency, like I said, for industrial automation, for many other use cases is what 5G brings on the table for us. So I think what we need to do is, the change is coming. We cannot escape it. It is big. Yes, we need to address a lot of things. Technology is the easiest part, which vendors like us will bring and be able to provide. But I think the biggest thing that is required for governments, for industries, for the world to do is address the digital skill gap, because it requires a different set of skills that is very, very important to make 5G happen. And then we are there to take this forward. So 5G will transform the human possibilities on what we are able to do. And I think we would like to be part of this journey as Nokia, as whatever we can do. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marwa. Thank you very much for your very wonderful presentation, and also showing us what the Nokia is doing, especially at their factory, and at the same time how training people. So that's very, I think, a very knowledgeable information for all our people, those who have connected today. And with this note now, before I request Mr. S.K. Gupta, Secretary, try to speak, I will request Kritika to please share a brief profile of Mr. S.K. Gupta, and then I'll request him to speak. Kritika, can you share a brief profile of him?
Yes, sir. Mr. S.K. Gupta is an Indian telecommunication service officer. He's working as the Secretary, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. He's a gold medalist of Allahabad University and has done his graduation on electronics and telecommunication and MBA from Delhi. He joined Indian Telecom Services in the year 1983 and worked in the Department of Telecommunications in various capacities. For the last 10 years, he's involved in telecom licensing, regulation, and its implementation. He has dealt with issues relating to broadband, infrastructure sharing, IP network design and installation, licensing, mobile number portability, FM radio, and new regulatory framework for broadcasting and cable services. He was the member of various high-profile committees, such as Internet Governance Working Group, constituted by Department of Information Technology, convener of NGN Expert Committee, constituted under the aegis of TRAI, member of South Asian Telecom Regulatory Council, and member of IPv6 Focus Group constituted by DOT. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Kritika. Thank you very much. And we are very thankful that Mr. S.K. Gupta is here with us today. Over to you, Mr. S.K. Gupta, Secretary, TRAI. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Srivastav, for giving me an opportunity to share my views over here. Sorry to be slightly late in session because, there was certain last minute changes. I'm very delighted to have such a knowledgeable panel with me who have already discussed various aspects of 5G. So I will like to touch upon from a very different perspective and not like to repeat what has already been touched upon. As rightly pointed by some of my colleague panelists, that pandemic has actually taught us a lot of lessons when we are there. You will see that we have been talking about video conferencing, telemedicine, teleeducation, whatnot, every thing, but nothing has happened and we have not touched the water, but we are just talking for last 4 or 5 years. This COVID has forced us actually to touch it. And then when we touched it, then we found that we are much more than ready than we thought of. And that is precisely where we stand today. Had it not been there, we will not be talking on this particular forum with the video conferencing which we are doing today. And not only that, at various forums I have touched on, even consultation, TRAI consultation papers have been done on the web-based platforms and other things. So we are ready on that. We thought that we will not be able to do e-commerce, and we are doing pretty well e-commerce, and the data which is available with the PhD Chamber of Commerce are testimony of this particular fact, that in spite of all limitation of not having good connectivity and having very less knowledge of the English in some of the places and giving preference to local languages, still we are very well on that. Look at education. Not only the higher level education, but even lower class educations also is happening on online, and we are getting on that. Look at IT sector. People are working from home, and there are talks about it that we can continue even if after pandemic is over, and at least certain percentage of the people can continue to work from home rather than doing it. Let us see the type of demand we got from the OSP sector that permit us to work from home or work from anywhere in India. So I'm just trying to flag here two things. Number one, connectivity has become very, very important. In fact, telecom has become a vital backbone on which so many things can be done. And this is one of the platform on which the complete development of the GDP of the country depends. So we had to think it from a different angle. The second thing is that people are ready more than what we expected. And therefore, just telling that education of the people would be required and all these things, while I am not undermining this requirement, but just delaying adoption of technology on this particular pretext is not right. Let us move forward very fast. Thirdly, while 5G is very important technological development, and it will give you a lot of opportunities to move forward, it's one of the development which is happening. In fact, let us consider that we are at the explosion of various disruptive technology in our life. As an individual, we are changing the way we have interacted, the way we work, the way we conduct the business, the way we socialize, and all these things are going to change it further pretty fast. I will like to touch upon, we are in the 5G era, which we are going to adopt very quickly. We have artificial intelligence, we have Internet of Things, we have cloud services, we have data explosion. And when you look at the combined effect of all these things together, you will find that you are going to be completely in different domain where we have been today. Last 20 years would not be able to tell you that what next 10 years are going to bring to you. And after 10 years, you may not be able to imagine that had we traveled a lot in this particular time, and therefore a small piece of thoughts and very limited type of development will not give the answer to the question what is going to be posed by the time. So let us think about it. There is no doubt about it that we are requiring very fast deployment of 5G. We are ready in all different fields, either it is the enhanced mobile broadband, or it is massive machine-to-machine communication, or ultra latency applications. Mr. Marwa has very well demonstrated the requirement in the industry. It is not only industry, it's a various sector which will require such type of applications. Yeah, we had to choose the proper applications suitable to Indian requirements so that we can derive the maximum outcome from this particular journey. So that's very, very important. Going forward, there are a lot of challenges and there are a lot of precautions which I will definitely like to touch upon. First is there will be lot of data exchange which will be happening. And when we talk about data exchange, data privacy and data security becomes very, very important. Many of the people are not aware about how it can be misused, and many times we are very happy when technology is helping us. And my mobile tells me that, okay, Mr. Gupta, you have to move now because you have booked a flight and immediately you have to reach over there. This is your OTP and this is this thing and all these things. But have we ever thought that all my movements are recorded somewhere and nothing is secret now. When I am so glad to use the map to find out my way where I want to go, and I'm very happy to say that yes, I don't require now any map, physical maps, and my driver is also having the Google map and he can tell us that, okay, sir, where you have to go and I will take you and this much time will be there, and precisely we are able to reach there at that much time. But my privacy is also being compromised to some extent because all details are there. If my OTP is there, if my bank account details are there, if my balance of the account is there, if other things are there, am I not being mapped? Why you are getting many messages which are very much related to your day-to-day functioning? Precisely because your private informations are also getting mapped. They know that what are my preferences on Amazon. He tells me that, look, this new thing has come. Why not all things? There are tremendous items available on Amazon, but it tells me for very certain amounts or very certain items. He knows what is my preference. So while artificial intelligence is playing a very, very important role in our life to improve it, I think we have to be very careful that it should not become a nightmare for me or for that purpose for any individual who is going to use the data services. Number one. Number second, Mr. Sandeep has very rightly pointed out, are we ready for 5G? Are we having proper optical fiber connectivity which are required for that? Can it be done pretty fast? The answer is that we have got only about 30% of our BTS connected with the optical fiber. And putting optical fiber in all cities all across the country is not going to happen in 1 year's time. No doubt about it. But are there alternatives? Yes, there are alternatives. We have got E-band, we have got V-band. All these things can be very effectively utilized. This band is pretty high and it can take care of all the requirement. You have very rightly pointed out that whether it will give space to smaller people to have growth. Definitely all government thought process is concentrated that all different people, entrepreneurs, given equal opportunity to develop, not that the development rests in the hand of handful of the people. What is the level of such freedom and all these things? That's a matter of detailing. And we have issued the recommendations. You can see that. And we are very careful on that particular issue. Next point comes, is it only the game of the telecom service provider when we are talking about the 5G? I can tell you 5G is definitely not. It's a collaborative work. There are device manufacturers, there are equipment vendors, there are system integrators, there are telecom service providers, and there are many people who are in the value chain and all together can provide the value, and not very limited people will be able to give the value. If I quantify, I would say that the role of telecom service provider may not be more than 10%, primarily limited to provide the coverage in different areas. The type of changes going to come because of the IoT is humongously high. It is not only on machine-to-machine communication, which we normally foresee. It can be in the field of agriculture. It can be field of fishery. It can be in different field, whether health and all these things. I'm aware a project was done and it is working in Uttarakhand, where a device has been made and some sort of wristwatch is tagged with the COVID patients, and it is giving all the vital parameters to the AIIMS at Haridwar. And the people are allowed to be at their home, and whenever somebody turns to be critical, the hospital sends their ambulance and takes such people to the hospital. This helps to manage the huge rush which would otherwise come to the hospital and would have become very difficult to manage, and giving a very high type of care, because all various parameters which are vital to check, including oxygen and other things, are continuously monitored at the center level in the AIIMS Haridwar. So there are so many things, and I'm aware that there is a time constraint. So I think the future for the 5G is very important. A collaborative development has to be done. We all should come on one platform, encourage doing the trial for the use cases which are particularly good for India. I think this will be the key of success if we move together, collaborate with each other, allow everybody to understand, develop our India specific use cases. No doubt that we'll be doing wonders in future. So thank you very much for giving me opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. A big round of applause for Mr. S.K. Gupta and also for Mr. Marwa for their wonderful presentation and also sharing that how India is going to progress as far as 5G is concerned. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful remarks. And now I will request Professor N.K. Goyal. He will not only give the industry perspective, but at the same time, Mr. Goyal will also, let PhD CCI Telecom Committee know that how we should be able to take such initiatives in future too. Over to you, Professor N.K. Goyal, sir.
Thank you very much. It's very difficult to speak something after S.K. Gupta ji, our TRAI veteran, and also Amit Marwa, the Nokia veteran. But having said that, within 1 minute, I have to say something. First thing is, COVID has also made known the world have and have nots. We talk of everything good, very good, very good. But at the same time, there are cases where people have to travel 200 kilometers for a signal. People are sitting inside the river bed somewhere or on the trees. So this problem goes on. About 5G, yes, a lot of hype. Everybody knows. We know this thing. We know about the speed, about technical details, about economic growth. Lots of advocacy is done primarily by technology providers. No hype is created by actual users. Like Uttarakhand example was given by Gupta ji, or like Nokia, Amit Marwa gave the example. It is not in the hype in the market. So government has also done by forming a group on for this thing. Now, as to where the action lies, the action lies with the technology. Action lies with the technology providers. They are there. It lies with our standard body 3GPP, who have announced that they will release 17 by the end of December. So till then we have to wait. Action lies with the government for making available spectrum on auction or otherwise. The big question, as has been said by everybody, who will invest? As of today, it looks telecom operator has to invest, but as per Gupta ji, their role is hardly 10%. So nobody is coming forward to invest for either towers or cells or fiber. Government says we need it, but then leave it to public to invest. This is the problem we are facing. And when it comes to use case, 4.0 is a standard use case, which is very well now established in India by our friend Mr. Amit Marwa. And also, I think Germany, where we have factory only for 4.0. But there is no advocacy or awareness to industries at large, like Maruti, or AIMS, or Escorts, or big plants of Tata, or Birlas, or Adani, that they need 4.0. That's where we are lacking. So my advice in few seconds to PhD, try to have a group who should promote 5G for 4.0. Leave telecom operators for some time. I think I finished my 1 minute. Thank you.
Dr. Yogesh, your mic is muted.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor Goyal. We will always we respect your advice and suggestion. Though we have a big WhatsApp group on telecom, but at the same time, as you have advised, we will certainly do the same. There are certain questions before I request Mr. Alok Mukherjee, our co-chairman, to give the concluding remarks and vote of thanks. Mr. Sandeep Agarwal, can I take some few questions, sir?
Sir, please.
There is a question from Mr. Pranav Podar that he's asking that has any medical study been conducted to prove that 5G is completely safe for human beings, animals, flora, and fauna? There are many reports and videos showing the harmful effects of 5G radiation wherever it has been implemented. Any one of the panelists would like to react on this?
I would
Especially
like to
Mr. Mar-
react.
Yeah, please, sir. Please, Professor Goel.
Just half a minute only. You know, everybody talks to technology. Nowhere in the world they talk of effect of technology on the human or animal or flora. And that is a big irony. And everybody will say there is no proven case so far that it is bad for health. But how the case will come is nobody's answer. I will stop it here.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Let me, sorry.
Yeah, please, sir. Please,
If
Secretary, sir.
permit, let me. See, this has been not only 5G, why not 4G, or for that purpose, why not 3G? This cases has been raised at various point of time, at least for earlier radio communications. And you know, 5G is one band is particularly fine, but when we talk about it, it is primarily of the ionized radiations, which is primarily concerned about it. The study which has been done so far, and not one, there are several studies which has been done, and they have very clearly established that there is no evidence which says that these radiations are harmful for the human body or for the human. Now, this talk will continue because people will say that you have got no conclusive evidence to say that it has got no effect. Other party would say that there is no conclusive evidence that it has got any adverse effect. But the fact remains that till now, if the radiations are within particular limit, which is very well prescribed in India, the harmful effects are very minimal, if at all they are there.
Okay. Sir, I'll take two more questions, sir. Dr. Amit Ahuja is asking, when is 5G rolled out in India? Is BSNL given any 5G spectrum?
So, if the question is targeted to me, let me answer that TRAI has already given a recommendation for the floor price for auction of the 5G spectrum. Once a spectrum auction happens, either BSNL or for that matter, any other telecom service providers can participate in that, and thereafter they can roll out the services. We have also given recommendation for allocation of E-band and V-band to the licensees. And with that, even if they are finding short of optical fiber penetration, this can temporarily be used for providing the good quality backhaul services.
Okay. Sir, last question is Mr. Vijay Kumar is asking what shall be the cost implications and would be its recovery time for the extra money paid for the use of such technology?
Question is slightly, complicated. Once they say extra money, I am not able to understand that what exactly they are meaning by the extra money. Once we talk about the data utilization, 5G is providing the high-speed data utilization, but it never means that cost is going to be tremendously high for that particular thing. The cost model which will come for 5G is not for the uses by the individuals to that great extent, but there are so many commercial models coming out of that. And therefore, the main business model would come from the commercial utilization. Secondly, I would like to tell you that the data utilization which has happened in last about 2 years is more on our own utilization, either it is socialization or it may be some sort of content viewing, maybe WhatsApp or something. A change is happening now. It's being used for the productive purposes. Today, if I'm talking on the website or this webinar, it's for productive purpose. Had I not been talking on this website, I would have traveled. I would have had a lot of expenditure on that. So what I will do is I will say that please guarantee me a minimum quality of service for which I should be able to perform. And for that, I am ready to pay you more. And Mr. Marwa will agree with me that 5G technology permits you to do the exactly same. So there will be different type of people who will say, I want a different grade of service as per my requirement, and I am ready to pay you more. And then telecom service provider will have a different type of use case while individuals who are not too much concerned about a very particular type of quality of service may continue to pay low, and they will get the high speed of 5G. There will be people who will be more concerned about it, and more of the corporates and other people who will say that I want a very special type of quality of service, which we call as SLA in the technical language, and that SLA will be met by the 5G. So it is not that individuals will be asked to pay humongously high amount of money, which will slowly reduced. It will be a balanced approach, and the value which will come by use of the 5G use cases will make money for the implementation of these cases.
Thank
Yeah, just to add to one thing, Gupta ji, also the same infrastructure. So yes, 5G will require additional investment because you are going into a different frequency and you need to upgrade the sites to be able to cater to that different spectrum and different frequency with the RF unit, etc. Whatever is required on the site. But the fact is that because the availability and the possibility to give larger chunks of spectrum exists in 5G, the same site which was today maybe capped at 1 Gbps that it can do will be able to, from the same infrastructure, same site, give 10 times more capacity. So if you calculate the cost per bit, it will be cheaper in 5G. But Gupta is absolutely right. It is not only meant for you and me having more mobile broadband usage on our, because videos work in 4G also very well. It is enabling slicing and enabling use cases for different parts of the industry who are willing to pay a differential and premium, and that's the monetization of 5G which needs to be discovered by the whoever launches it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The final question
if
is.
You kindly permitted me to leave because I have another meeting. Sorry
yeah, sir.
Keeping it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
We will request all our members to please write the questions to at the website of PhD CCI and the mail, and then we assure you that we will be, putting it to all the meaningful people, and then we will be able to answer. So with this note now, as I have promised in the beginning that we will be completing this webinar in 1 hour, I will now request Mr. Alok Mukherjee to kindly give the formal vote of thanks and concluding remarks. He is the co-chairman of our telecom committee and a very inspiring person. We personally have learned a lot from him. Over to you, Mr. Mukherjee.
Thank you, Dr. Yogesh. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks at an interactive web seminar that we have organized on the 5G technology in India's journey, the post-COVID, right? I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. S.K. Gupta, ITS Secretary TERAI, for sparing his valuable time to be a part of this web seminar and enlighten us with his views and insights. I would also like to thank the other panelists, Mr. Amit Marwa, the head of the marketing, the corporate affairs, Nokia India. The most important and interesting was the example which he has shown, and he has shown the example of his own company as such. For giving us their time and sharing, I would like to thank the sponsor, the Paramount Communication Limited, because without their help, perhaps this seminar would have not been possible to it. Right? I would also like to thank to all the delegates and other esteemed guests who have taken out the time from their busy schedule and have joined them. The 5G technology will change the way we interact with the technology. It is the next generation, the wireless technology, that not only guarantees the higher data capacity and speed, but also provides the capacity to connect the billions of devices. Digitization has also made the digital entrepreneurship possible today. As the amount of the investment required is lower, the e-commerce growth is one of the highest in India. We have incurred the 50% annual growth in the data. This is also true if the ambition, the digital ambition of the government of India has to be met, then the technology has to come in. And if the technology has to come in, then the entrepreneurship will also come as such. The 5G technology is picking up the pace and expectations are high with a little delay in the rollout, which could be covered soon. The pandemic will sharpen the need for a strong case for a technology investment, and the 5G will be no exception. The companies would use this time to strengthen their business cases for a 5G and determine what else to do to expedite the process. The technology is critical to the India's digital ambition, as I said. The constantly evolving the need for higher speed, along the plan for smart cities, industrial automation, connected devices, etc., make the 5G inevitable, so it becomes the critical for both the operators and the government of India, especially the corporates, since they need it. I convey my sincere thanks to Dr. Yogesh Srivastava, the Principal Director, and his entire team for their hard work and the consistent good effort to make this web seminar successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mukherjee. Thank you very much. But last, not the least, my Secretariat of Telecom Committee, led by Ms. Krutika Salapaka. Krutika has been doing number of good work, and a big round of applause for Krutika for arranging this, since I was, suffering with COVID, and then it's she who has actually put everything together, and also it's all credit goes to Krutika and my colleague Sanjeev. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I thank my mentor of the committee, Mr. Sandeep Agarwal, co-chair, Mr. Mukherjee, our former president, Mr. Anil Khaitan, Professor Goyal, and of course, Mr. Marwa, and the secretary for joining us today. And we assure you on behalf of the PhD Telecom Committee Secretariat that we will be having meaningful programs in future too. And Mr. Khaitan, you will agree with me, sir. I will take one more minute, as in your presidency, you are the one who have taught us in 2018 that if our team members can really put their leg into our shoes, then only the association works basically continue in a smoother way. So I'm not trying to boast, Krutika, but let me tell you, Mr. Khaitan, whatever I have learned personally from you, that we implemented it in the secretariat. And let me assure you that even without the principal directors, the committee is functioning very fantastically, excellently, and the officers are taking good care of that. So, Mr. Khaitan, would you like to react on this, sir, on Krutika's success?
No, Vivek, I think that's the way to go, because
sir, this is Yogesh. This is Yogesh.
I'm sorry.
I know that he is your favorite, sir. I know.
No, it's not favorite. Today I've been reading Swami Vivekananda, so that's why Vivek is coming.
Yeah.
So Yogesh, I think you're very correct, because I always feel that one of the greatest attributes of a leader is to develop subordinates. Because a leader can only lead provided he develops his subordinates. Otherwise, he won't get time to be more evolved, to be more knowledgeable, to basically be able to assess the world ecosystem and take decisions to take the organization forward. And it is the duty of the leader to develop his or her subordinate, because they morally owe it to the subordinates to basically see the evolvement and the progress of the subordinates. Because you never know, a subordinate might surpass the leader tenfolds. So I think it's a good thing you are doing. And Krutika has learned quite well. And congratulations, Krutika. And keep it up and be empowered. And as Yogesh stands for women empowerment, so he is doing the same thing at PhD. Thank you.
Yeah, Krutika, show your video. Everybody wants to have a big applaud for Krutika. Krutika, why don't you open your video?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good
A
job.
big round of applause for Krutika for this wonderful webinar, and I'm sure she will do in future too. And I assure Mr. Khaitan that all his teachings, learnings, we will try and then implement 100% in the secretariat. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay safe, healthy, and keep yourself fit. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you.